Hello there, and welcome to this Broome-Isa trip reports video. Welcome back to the second instalment of aviation news. I'm going back to where I came from, with the sense that James James's plans in aviation news is coming back. So for those of you who don't know, that was the name of this channel before it got rebranded, but when I did rebrand it to the Trip Reports channel, I sort of swore off aviation news, but New Zealand's in lockdown, and I've got to keep content coming with you guys, so desperate times call for desperate measures. But speaking of the future of travel in New Zealand, the following is a presentation of, I think, and some suggestions for Air New Zealand on the future of domestic travel. So let's get into it. So these are some of the main airlines that fly in New Zealand. You've got Air New Zealand, the national government airline, and Jetstar Airways, Qantas's domestic /international carrier, but that's owned by Qantas. It's their low-cost brand. So we're going to start off with the topic of food. Now, according to One News, Air New Zealand have upped the prices, but they've actually, due to health and safety reasons, cut the drinks and snacks service. Now I apologise, these are quite some old photos I've found, but they're in order. So the first one's a Koru hour breakfast service I had back on the 737. The middle one's another 737 image of regular drinks and snacks service, and another 737 service of Koru hour that I had taken. So I apologise for the age of the images, but I thought for a good nod to nostalgia. But as you can see, Koru Hour is quite an exposed service, and I get Air New Zealand trying to protect their staff, but one thing they could consider is actually keeping the service of drinks and snacks, but potentially removing hot drinks, because you can see they require lots of service, and as well the removal of things like so you can get rid of your teas and coffees, but you keep things like your biscuits and your chips because they're all pre-packaged. And you can see from the middle picture that it is a little pudding cup water. That's another thing Air New Zealand could look at keeping, just to keep, that little bit of premium, especially given Air New Zealand aren't lowering the prices. Or another thing they consider doing is the following. Now, I know that I've said in the past, I'm not a low-cost carrier flyer. Many years ago I flew Jetstar Airways and got sworn off it. I'm not a low-cost man, but well, I have to try it eventually, so I was a bit too chicken to fly Ryanair, but while I was in the UK a few years ago, I did fly EasyJet, and there is a review of that on my website. But one thing I could do is go back to the low-cost airline sort of decision and go during your booking, do you want to have the ability for in-flight snacks, and so if so, you'll have to pay for that, but if not, here's the amount that perhaps in-flight snacks would cost, so we'll take that as a discount out of the flights, because I've looked, flights in New Zealand, they're not cheap. So these are some of the aircraft that do fly in New Zealand. You've got your Q300s flown by both Jetstar and Air New Zealand, and your ATRs flown by Air New Zealand, your A320 CEOs, which stands for Current Engine Option, and they're flown by Air New Zealand and Jetstar. And on rare occasions you might find some international aircraft, like I've got a video of an emergency on an A320 international configuration, which was a Star Alliance livery, actually, the ZKO-JH, which has just recently been retired. And then I've A320neos and A320neos. So it seems that, for today, as this video is released, the first aircraft landed in Queenstown, but what will be interesting to see, and actually one thing I've noticed is Air New Zealand is starting to use their A321neos on lots of main trunk domestic routes that can take the aircraft, probably because it can seat more passengers, and it makes sense for their sort of their social distancing policy, which is the middle seats blocked. So it's sort of actually like European business class all round. So it will be interesting to try So yes, so that was a quick video on what I think the future of domestic travel is. It'll be interesting to see what comes of the Trans-Tasman bubble, and hopefully I can get it to producing some more content, but until then, we're going to be taking a look at nostalgia. Keep an eye out on the aviation news playlist. That's not been touched in years, but it's now being used a lot more. There'll be a lot more stuff like tours of my aviation collection coming up. But if you have any ideas for videos, then please do send through your thoughts to all one word, James Planes and Aviation @gmail.com, and I'll be very interested to hear what you have to say and ways you can help improve. And also a quick bit of advertising. Due to popular demand, I have opened a Facebook page. Apologies to those of you who want Instagram, particularly to Daniel Wallace. Unfortunately, I can't work the stuff. It gives me a headache. I even get shivers thinking of it. So I have got a Facebook, a Twitter, and a website. I have also got a Jet Photos account, so also send through some photos if you want me to put them on my Jet Photos account, as well as or the Twitter or the Facebook. But just make sure you also fill in first before you send them to me using the email address I mentioned earlier, that you fill in the about or photo submission page on my website. But thank you very much for watching. Do send through your ideas, and I'll see you in the next video.